A truly wondrous good evening to you, friends and lovers of sports, and welcome to your number one sports channel in Cameroon, Africa, and the world over. It is Prime Sports, and this comes to you on the 23rd of December 2021, and we are here for sure to bring you up to speed with what has been making sports news across Cameroon, the world over as well. In today's edition of the program, we shall be looking at the list published by the head coach of the Indomitable Lions, with 28 players retained to defend the colors of the national of the country in the 2021 Total Energies Africa Cup of Nations coming up in Cameroon on exactly the 9th of January. We shall also be looking at the fact that CAF for the very first time has disobeyed FIFA. The question is, what is the way? Is there a future for CAF that no one knows? We shall be looking at all of that and more. For us to dissect and demystify all we've kept in our basket for you today, we have special panelists, sports writers and journalists with us in the building, and they shall be dissecting and demystifying what we've kept for you. First, we have a sports writer for My Soccer 24. He is Teke Jemea. He joins us body and soul in today's edition of the program. Say good evening and thank you so much for accepting our invitation. We are grateful and honored to have you today.
Yeah, good evening, Rene, and good evening to Ngome, and good evening to the televiewers out there.
He is Teke Jemea there, and he's sports writer for My Soccer 24. And of course, you shall be hearing more from him this evening when it comes to some of the topics we've earmarked for you. Not to forget the fact that we also have a fine sports brain in our company, Ngome Michael, sports journalist and writer. He too joins us body and soul in today's edition of the program, all the way from the southwest region. Sir, good evening, and thank you so much for accepting the invitation to be with us in today's edition of the program.
Good evening, Rene, Isah, and a happy Christmas in advance to viewers of Prime Sport and My Media Television.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to open the basket for you, and what we kept for you this day is, of course, in connection with the list published by the head coach of the Indomitable Lions, Antonio Conceicao da Silva Oliveras, retaining 28 Lions to defend the colors of the country in the Total Energies 2021 Africa Cup of Nations. The list is, of course, one with familiar names, and it's making lots of waves, not only in Cameroon, Africa, and the world over, with players who've had experience, and a majority of them retained from the 2017 squad that clinched the title for Cameroon. First, we sample your opinion as far as the list is concerned. Ngome Michael, tell us your interpretation of that list. When you saw the names, the likes of Nje Clinton being called back after an absence, what impression do you have?
Well, when you look at the list, you understand that Nje Clinton is one of the main factors. Alongside Ebose Enzo, they are the new names who have been absent from this school squad. But when you look at it critically, you understand that Conceicao has fished out the best, if not completely the winning team for the host Cameroon, as we gear up to defend national colors for the first time since 1972, when Cameroon hosted an African Cup of Nations. If you look at it, you understand that it is a complete squad, because we have the likes of our first goalkeeper, if I should put it that way, Andre Onana, who is being hustled out there by European clubs, and we have the likes of the best goalkeeper out there in DRC in the person of Omosola, and we equally have Davis Epasi, who has been instrumental in our AFCON and FIFA World Cup qualifiers. It is a good squad, because when you look at every compartment of that team, you see the likes of the defensive compartment, the players found the center defense. You have Michael Gandri, and you have the likes of Harom Mukudi, Jean-Jacques Castelletto. At the wing, you have Olivier Mbaizo and Fai Collins, who we saw perform tremendously in the game against Cote d'Ivoire here in Douala at the Japoma Stadium. And we equally have off front and the likes of Muminga Male. Muminga Male is a name at times we don't sing about all the time, but we equally have to know that this is someone who has played at least every minute since Conceicao took charge, and has provided 8 assists and has 2 goals to his name for the colors of the Indomitable Lions. And he's equally been someone who's performing very well with young boys, despite their elimination from the CAF, the Champions League, UEFA Champions League in Europe. And we equally have Oyongo Bitolo Nuhu Tulu and Obeso Enzo, who is equally coming in. And when you look at the likes of Zambo Angisa, Lea Siliki, Martin Hong, Hongla and Choupo-Moting. It is really a team where you hardly find fault in them, considering the fact that we have a friendly against Guinea-Bissau on come the 3rd of January, and we equally have more preparations that will begin, I'm sure, immediately after Christmas. After the game against Guinea-Bissau, that's when we'll have to see where we can pinpoint the errors of Conceicao, and I think he himself will know where the errors are coming and forging forward with this team. Remember, we are playing on home soil, and we have to defend the colors of home soil.
Well, first reaction there of Ngome, Michael, ladies and gentlemen, in today's edition of Prime Sports. Teke, Jemea, we have the likes of Nje Clinton, who have not had any game time whatsoever with the current squad, and he's called up. I mean, in build-up to Cameroon's qualification, Nje Clinton had very little participation, and we have him and the likes of other players who've not also had much impact, who've not had much game time with the current team. Are we convinced to still say that this is the winning team?
Well, it could be from the coach's eyes, but when you look at the team, the coming of Nje Clinton is to bring him, the AFCON experience to also matters. This is his third AFCON appearance, and so he's one of those players who were the winning team of 2017 alongside Abubakar, Oyongo, the likes of Fai and Gandhi. Those were the survivor as far as that particular team was concerned. And so bringing in Nje Clinton is coming in with that experience of a winning mentality, which they did in 2017. Though 2019 they failed to replicate that same pace or performance. And so with that, it tells you, well, look at the team, the goalkeeping sector might not have a problem at all, because when you look at it, we've always been blessed with goalkeepers in our generations since we started football in Cameroon in the 70s. But we still have problems with the likes of Efala. I think Efala has not really been that goalkeeper that actually deserves a place as far as the team is concerned. Remember, he has not actually been on most of their match days with his club out there in Nigeria. And so we wonder why he's been called up each time Conceicao calls a list, and up to the point where he's been called at the level of the AFCON. So that is a name that I think should have been eliminated. Better we should go in for Simon Ngapango, the man from Marseille, a young goalkeeper who is having a bright future with the indomitable, with the Olympic Marseille side or the French League side. I think that such a goalkeeper, because now as we speak, France are already making approaches towards this guy, and so that was a goalkeeper that I thought should have been in the place of Jean Efala. Yeah, it was. When you look at the defense line, you see that at least two players or two or three players are in competition with each win. You could talk of the left back, which we always suffered during the qualifiers, where at one point in time the coach will use the likes of Fai at the level of the left back. But now we have Oyongo, we have Nuhutolo, and the debutant Ebuse Enzo, who has played 10 games for Angers this season, and so he could be one of the competitors as far as the left back position is concerned. Haven't seen Oyongo just returning back from injury, just recovering back from injury, and is coming in. But Nuhutolo has been handling that position for the past 4 or 5 matches. And so we think that he too also deserves to be a starter as far as the AFCON is concerned. We look at the centre backs. We have Mike Ngande and Castellito. Those are fine players who have also proven their ability as far as the defense line is concerned. We also have the likes of Ongene. We saw his exploits against Cote d'Ivoire. Harold Mukudi, though he's injured, but there are still signs that he's going to recover before the start of the AFCON. And we have the right back, which has Fai, Collins, and Baizo. There we know that Baizo has been shaky in some of the games as far as the qualifiers were concerned. So Fai looks the favorite to be a starter as far as the right back position is concerned. And if you look at the midfield looks, my problem there is the creative nature, because we have just Eric Mazin Choupo-Moting as far as the creative issue is concerned, and so we think that the attackers there are actually good as far as the lineup is concerned.
We might, for reasons beyond our control, not be able to carry on with today's edition of the program. We apologize for the inconveniences.